Hello and welcome to 4,000 Counting. I'm Watty, that's Mark. This is the weekly roundup, episode 4, where we discuss everything in UK hockey from the NIHL to the Elite League. And this week, we also will be talking about the GB Juniors as they announce their squad. But before we get on to all that, we're gonna say hello to Mark first. Hello, mate. How are we going?
Yeah, good. Excited for a bit of hockey this weekend again in Brno. And anyway,
Who do they play? Who do they
actually
play this weekend?
the team that no, they don't play Belfast. I can't remember the Trinets or something like
Oh,
that.
okay. So, I mean, the game looked amazing. The you was there last time. Obviously, we talked about Kirky in the last episode, been keeping a little eye on him. His team are doing well this year.
They've surprised quite a lot of the community, the Czech hockey world, because generally, I think I said before on one of the previous episodes, they've always been sort of a lower end team.
Yeah.
But they seem to be doing really good, and they've got some great players this year as well. So it's good to see Kirky smashing it in that third line. So
Putting himself
happy
in the shop
days on
window,
both
isn't he?
fronts. Yeah,
Like, you impressed some of those teams out there. I mean, I know you've kind of said a couple of things to me off air where you think he might end up, but if he impresses people, hey, God, the world's his oyster. People continue to write him off, and yet he continues to go and prove them wrong.
yeah. I think he's just in the perfect league right now to still develop his game, because there's a huge standard in the Czech league, as we know. So to see him still playing at a great level, you just don't know where he goes after a good season.
At Mark UK Leaf on Twitter, he put it looks like, and obviously he's following Kirky's career very closely. He put something, I'm paraphrasing, but it looks like this is the most fun Kirky's had playing hockey since he was with the Petes. Now, guess what? If you're getting used in every situation and you're playing minutes and you're getting points and you're winning, probably that's a pretty fair statement, I would say. Would you?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, what's not fun about
Yeah,
winning and scoring goals? Like, pretty much all you want, right? Especially as a forward. Obviously, you want to win, and if you're chipping in offensively, even better. And what else have we got? Right. So obviously, I sat down with Shane Moore. You couldn't make the episode, busy work week for you, but I sat down with Morsey. I believe you've caught up on it a little bit. The first kind of reaction from you. Did you think it was like fair, and how did you kind of break it down?
absolutely fair. Everything that Morsey said was justified. It wasn't like you were talking crap. Like he's a respectful player. I respected him as a player. I'm not a player by myself, but as a fan, I always respected him. And I've respected him off the ice, and when we've spoke to him off air, and when we've done podcasts before with him. He knows the game inside out, like yourself, and you broke scenarios down and you tried to see it from the other side as well. It wasn't
Did
just
try.
going in and saying like this, and this. You were trying to we were speaking about positioning the linesmen and stuff like that. That's things that you were taking into consideration. You weren't just jumping into conclusions. You were given valid points as to how they still came to these conclusions and who could really see it and who couldn't.
Mate, it's tough. It's
I
tough to
think it was
see for a
brave.
guy who's fucking massive's back. Like Joe Llewellyn's a unit, mate. If you're Brain and you're 5 foot nothing and you're trying to see across at this angle, the guy's a lump, like a proper lump. How are you supposed to see then what's here on him? And it'd be like you trying to see what's behind my back now. Like it'd be very difficult for you to be able to 100% say what's there.
Yeah.
Just because of the angle I'm sat at, where I am, it's difficult. And I think speaking to a couple of referees, the thing that they seem to appreciate was the fact that we mentioned, they had nothing to do with the sussies. Like,
Absolutely.
they just call what they see on the ice. They're not going, well, I hope this guy gets 10 shoved up him. Or, That should be that. They make the call as they see it on the night, on the ice. They get one look at it. It's there and then. There's no replays. You do it. You make your call. They're not responsible for these bans. So like going after refs and shit like that on Twitter and chirping them out. Hey, if you don't agree with a call and you say it's shit call, yeah, you're allowed. You're allowed to say it's a shit call.
Yeah.
But they're nothing to do with the ban. So going after them for the length of the ban and all that other stuff is just nonsense. What else have we got? Any other opinions on that interview?
I just think it was very well constructed, very well put across, and actually, I think he was quite brave to come out there and actually say this.
I agree. He was brave, but let's make this a society where that's not brave. That's just the norm. Because if we want this to get better, if this is all just done behind closed doors, and me coming on and saying it to you and you talking opinions about it, it'll have some merit. But when it's from the horse's mouth and we break it down in such a way that we're not targeting, it wasn't like, hey, fuck these guys. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like we just come on and did a hit piece or anything like that. As you say, we tried to break it down. We tried to see it from the ref's point of view. We tried to see it. And that's just one. There was other incidents that we broke down and we looked at, the Charlie Thompson one. We looked at Luke Smittle's one.
Yeah.
By the way, like I don't know how I'd skated by not seeing that, but he did all right to get 3 games out of that one.
Yeah, when you consider they have almost 10 games.
Yeah, so for a chop in the face, you get 3 games. For a headbutt, you get 4 games. But for a hit to the head, you get 10 games. As we say. Someone actually said something. Oh, I'm going to read it out. I'm not going to say who it was. But the message was interesting. Said, great podcast, can't be faulted. A barrister is only as good as his experience. I have a friend who is a barrister dealing with a murder, and she wouldn't touch the family court or contract law as it's not her thing. These guys may have the best intentions, but without competence are actually incompetent. And that kind of resonated me. Just even the way it was worded, everything. It was like, yeah, you can have the best intentions in the world, but you have no experience, and it make a fucking difference. It's like, I'm sorry. And that is just the cold, hard facts. We talk about like staying in your lane and stuff like that. Sometimes it is best to stay in your lane.
Yeah.
It really is. And I don't know. I know you'd be welcome to have the EIHL on. You'd be welcome to have the Department of Player Safety or anybody on. We said it on the Morsey interview. Like, this was never intended to be a hit piece. It's really not. We want to create a better sport, and if we're going to have a department of the player safety, then it needs to be fit for purpose. And if communication is a way to get that off the ground, then so be it. Let's do it. Let's move on. Aberdeen, just back from my first trip to the SNL. Brilliant, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Cool place as well. Never been to Aberdeen before. Right up there on the East Coast, north, and you got the rigs up there, so you got guys coming on and offshore, running late on Saturday morning, and I didn't realize I'd been like stereotyped or profiled. So I'm running through Luton Airport. They're like 10 minutes away from shutting the gate. Get through security, and then the fucking border patrol stopped me, and I didn't really think anything of it. He went, "Where are you going?" I went, "Aberdeen," and he went, "Of course you are." Didn't think anything on it. Got through to my gate, and then it was just like fucking 40 blokes that looked like me going up to work on the rigs in Aberdeen. I was like, "You fucking arsehole." I said that to the boys in Aberdeen when I got up there, and they were like, "Oh yeah, he's just took one look at you and went, oh yeah, you're a rigger, on you go, son." Like that was the only question he asked me. He didn't even say anything else. Didn't want to look at my bag, didn't anything. He was like, "See you later, go on you go." And I was like, I didn't realize I'd been profiled until I sat on the plane and looked around me, and I was like, yeah, there's a lot of guys with a lot of heavy ink and like quite muscular builds and stuff. I was like, yeah, fair play. He got it. He was wrong though. But yeah, what a time. And had some really interesting conversations with their chairman, John, who's also the chairman of Scottish Ice Hockey. We're going to get him on here in the future. I think I spoke to some you about some of his ideas and told you like I think it's great. And if we can get more people like that pulling on the rope and getting it going in the general direction that we want it, then UK hockey could start coming up the way again, which would be lovely. But yeah, SNL as a whole, I enjoyed it. It was a good game. There's some good young talent out there. The Dundee goalie, as Cam McGiffin and that said, was lights out, mate. If he was British, he'd be starting the National League, and I can guarantee that he was really good. And then a couple of tilts, bit of feistiness. You know, it was good. Really good match night experience. The place was packed, absolutely packed. Real good steak pie like at the end of the period.
Oh, mate, yeah,
like it was all going on, and honestly, what a brilliant experience. So if you're ever in Aberdeen and you want to check out a game, go and check out the links. Honestly, really good, real good plans for the future. I'll let John kind of tell what he can tell when they come on, but it's exciting times in Aberdeen, and the way they do things there is very, very well professionally run for an amateur club.
It's really nice to see, like, you know, like we don't really hear a lot about what goes on up there in terms of hockey. So it's good for you to sort of bring that exposure and to hear your opinion on how it is. And you got to speak to some important people and got a greater feel for how the hockey is up there. Did it surprise you, the standard?
Yeah, so I think I said to the boys up there, they definitely compete NIHL 1 North, NIHL 1 South to they would give some of the teams down south a game. Maybe some of the top end south teams might be a little bit too strong in the depth department. But yeah, 100% would give most teams at that level a game.
Interesting.
Like I don't think you'd be seeing many blowouts based on what I saw. There's some very good players out there. Very, very good players out there. Lots of guys that played decent elite league games with limited minutes, I guess, for Fife, Edinburgh, Dundee, or whoever over the years. But now they're coming down playing good minutes. So obviously good players to get noticed by the elite league clubs in the first place. But then to come and get some proper minutes and, you know, be the guy. Yeah, mate, real good match night experience. Very, very happy that I took the trip up there. Would 100% go back. Great bunch of guys, by the way. Went for breakfast with John, real good guy, and then went for a kind of pre-game lunch with all the boys that live local in Aberdeen. The boys that come through from Dundee came through a little bit later, obviously. But yeah, so lunch with them, then a few beers after. Nothing hectic. I was back in the hotel by 12:20. I was absolutely done in. Obviously, I left at 2 a.m. to get there. So it was a long old day Saturday. And I'm 100% glad I went. A few bits and pieces that you guys are going to get to see on road tripping. You're going to get to see some coaches in between the period, team talks. I was in the room while Jordan was giving his chat. He thought I swore a lot. Strap in. I don't know if we could afford the beeps for the beep button for Jordan's 1.5-minute team talk here, but it's passion, and I loved it. It was great to get it on video. I think it's going to give the fans a bit of an insight. You don't really get to see it. I don't know if you follow it, Mark, but a bunch of amateurs, the Facebook and like YouTube thing about the lads that play non-league football. Brilliant. Like their coach he just says it as it is. It's real good, real funny, but you get to see all that, and I enjoy watching that. And I think the fans will enjoy watching this because it's going to have a bit of that feel. And it's a look that you don't really get in the UK. We don't really get to see much of it. So it's fun. That's part of the reason why I want to do this. That's why the UK ones will be good compared to the European ones on different reasons, because obviously we're going to get a lot more access when we're in the UK. I don't imagine Burn are going to be inviting me in between the fucking period for the team talk. So obviously me and Mark are going to hit 2 games in one of them's a month today, and we'd have already seen the other. So I'm looking forward to bringing you that. Let's move on. We have an announcement to make. We are looking for a new title sponsor. We'd like to thank Hurricane e-bikes for everything, but our time with them has come to an end. We wish them all the best in the future. Great company. Still got fantastic e-bikes. That's not going to change. But we're both looking to go in a little different direction here, and we're going to be putting out some posts. We've got a couple of sponsorship opportunities, obviously title sponsor. We are in discussions with a company already, but we will open it up to everybody else because we want someone that's going to fit with our brand and fit with our plans moving forward. But yeah, once again, just a thank you to Hurricane.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, Mark, should we go to the NIHL and GB news?
Yeah, let's go for it. What did you make of the GB under-20s roster?
I'm going to put it up right now. It's a very tough decision for Grubby. Obviously, it's a home GB tournament for a start, and we really need to be getting out of that group. It's something that would probably be classed as unacceptable if we don't. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Right, I'll run through it real quick. So we've got Ben Norton, so from the Bristol Pitbulls, Cardiff Devils, two-way situation. He's down there in net. Alex O'Dell from Manchester Storm, and the emergency backup is Dan Norton, who is with the Milton Keynes Lightning, Milton Keynes Thunder two-way deal. And then we've got Solway Sharks, Kel Beattie, Coventry Blaze, Archie Hazeldine fight this weekend as well. Good job, buddy. Fucking love it. And quickly, while we're on about them, we might as well get his brother in on the mix. He scored his first goal over in Hungary this week. And it was a sick goal.
A sick goal.
Gets the puck. Maybe I'll stick it in the video here if I remember when I'm editing it. He gets the puck off the point, comes in, walks the guy, walks his backhand, walks back. Filth, absolute filth. So good week for those boys all round. Getting the monkeys off the back with the first tilt, the first goal, and a GB call up. Good week for that family. Jacob Whitesay, Slough and Bristol. He's got the call up in D. Kieran Chung, don't know anything about him. He's playing out with the Powell River Kings in Canada. Malik had to be in there. Malik Martelli, MK Lightning, undoubtedly going to be in the GB senior team at some point. He's built for it. He's an athlete and he's a very good hockey player. And then we got Sam Cooper. He had his Steel Dogs and Steelers announcement announced last weekend. He scored a goal in his first game for the Dogs. So I think he's another one that's had a very good week. And then finally, we got Billy Thorpe from the team that you're wearing the sweatshirt of, the Peterborough Phantoms. That's your goalies and your D, Mark. From the ones that we know out of that list, there's a couple that I don't. They all seem like pretty much shoo-ins to me.
Yeah.
I like what Kel Beattie brings at the back. Sam Cooper, I like what he offers. Archie again. And then obviously Malik, he's a good player. Billy Thorpe. Strong. It's a strong defensive lineup. Ben Norton in goal as well. He's probably gonna play the bulk of the games, if not all of them. And he's gonna be stating a case for showing why he's on a two-way with an elite league club.
Yeah.
It's a real good opportunity for him to do it. At home tournament in Solway. I've met the fans up there. They'll be fucking behind the team. I can tell you that. The ones that can get out to the games, they'll be there. They'll be passionate. They'll be cheering the boys on. Especially the fact you got Kel. He plays for Solway. That's going to bring a few of the fans out as well. Hopefully they pack the building for him. Mark, I would like to, and I don't know when exactly this is, but if we could get up there for that and then tie it off with a Sharks game at the weekend, I would like to maybe see if we could get involved in that. I'm not entirely sure when it is. January, February?
Yeah, around then. January.
20s are normally quite early, isn't it? And then like the men's and stuff is at the end of the season. The 20s is during the season. I know that much. Right, let's go to the forwards. So we got Finn Braden, Leeds Knights, Ben Brown from the MK Lightning, Owen Britton from the Hull Seahawks, Ollie Endicott from Leeds and Coventry, Carter Hamill from the MK Thunder deal, Coventry Blazers, Jack Hopkins, Connor Lee from Manchester Storm Telford Tigers. And then we have a couple of boys that are playing abroad. We had Samuel Line, who is playing at Northwood. Johnny Boxall is a Northwood legend, I believe. And then we got Austin Osborne. He's playing out in Vernal Oilers in the States. And then his teammate out there is brother Dawson Osborne. And then who else we got? Lucas Price from Telford Tigers, Josh Shaw from Swindon Wildcats, and then Max Stewart from the Belfast Giants, MK Lightning. Forward lineup, some good forwards in that lineup there.
Solid again.
Yeah, very solid. I like the look of that. Again, I don't know Samuel or Austin or Dawson. Don't know how long those boys have been away for, but from the guys that I do know, you've got a good 13 forwards, hopefully. I'll be happy with that.
That's the strong roster.
Yeah, and we have this every time though. We have a strong roster and we fuck it up. Like now and ever, we need to get out of this group now.
Yeah, no excuse.
No excuse. We can't be like, oh well, we didn't have a very good fucking fourth line. When we look at that and go, we should have a good fourth line. You know, and like you can't. You start looking at it, and you start breaking it down. All of these guys should be more than capable of playing well at that level. I want to see who's in their group, actually. Great Britain. U20. But you happy with the way the roster looks?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a very strong roster. It's an exciting roster. There's a lot of guys that are, with some elite league experience now as well.
Let's have a look. This is who they are taking on. He says, where the hell's that gone? Right, let's try this. Lithuania, Netherlands, Spain, China, and Korea. Now, we know Spain have improved, but I still expect us to beat them. Netherlands, we should be shit pumping them. Same with China. Korea and Lithuania will be the trickiest two games, in my opinion.
Korea will be tricky. Lithuania, we should beat.
Yeah, I mean, we should beat them. I mean, if you beat them, you get one of these.
Nice.
So, I mean, that was from 2004, and that still sits up there. And it's actually nice to have it out and have it somewhere to put it. I just sat in a cupboard for nigh on 18 years. But that's what's up to play for, boys. Your opportunity to get your hands on one of them. And in fact, Lithuania was one of the teams that we had to beat to get there as well. And we went out and got it done. And sometimes in these tournaments, in these games, that's what you have to do. It doesn't have to be pretty. Just have to win. And we have to stay at the fucking box is what we have to do.
Yeah.
That's coming from me. But yeah, read into that what you will, but stay out of the box. It's so important in these IIHF tournaments that if we don't, that's what kills us. And that's what costs us promotion to get out of that division. Mark, what else? What else we got? Let's go to something else.
Oh, we've got the Raiders.
Yes, we do.
The carer policy.
Yeah, they've updated it. Now, obviously, I wanted to give them their due because we did say last week you kind of would make sure this was in place before it came out, but they didn't piss around. They got it out yesterday, day before, so like 4 or 5 days before the next game. So fair play to them. As part of their investigations into fair and consistent carer policy, the Raiders management have reviewed a number of systems operated by others. We have also received several recommendations for cards, such as access card, where the user's paperwork is independently assessed by providers of that card. The practice of application for carers passes in advance of attendance is widely used in entertainment and sports venues, and until the card systems available have all been compared, Raiders will operate a door registered of those that have applied in advance of the event. Anyone wishing to do so, blah, 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 you can email the Raiders at care@raidersicehockey.com. It goes on to say a couple more bits about entitlement letters for higher rates of PIPs and DLA will be required when making any references to that. Same process will apply to visiting fans. and we endeavour to make sure the policy and application approval is known to other fan bases before arriving at the Sapphire through our website and contacting the visiting teams on their own social media pages. But yeah, they bounced back. They've done it. I think that's good. Fair play to them. And the fans can't. I understand the fans being pissed off initially, but in the long run, it sounds like this should be how it should be. Like, people that don't deserve to be in there for free because they're just pulling the fast one can get to fuck.
Yeah.
You're just taking money out of the club's pocket. If you are well entitled to it, then this seems like a fair way to do it.
Can't say any fairer than that.
Nah, it seems fair, doesn't it? Right, what else we got? We got a couple of movers and shakers. Josh Hodgkinson, he's left Leeds, gone to Whitley. Whitley needed to do something after the start they've had. Tony is not going to be very happy with the results. And Josh obviously not getting as much ice time as he'd like at Leeds, I take it, and has decided to step down a league. Could be good for him. He's still only 22. Probably a good move for both parties.
Yeah, it seems that way. If he's not going to get the ice time and he's under great hands with Tony, no pun intended there, but
Hey.
straight up.
And then we've had Ewan Hill. He's been released from Streatham. Tigers have signed a new import, Jaden Pecker. And I don't know if he's any relation to Michael Pecker. That'd be sick. I used to love watching him play back in the day, just steamrolling guys. So let's have a look at Jaden's stats here on Elite Prospects. By the way, shout out Elite Prospects. We better do this shit without it. So 4 years in the OHA with the Barry Colts and the Sioux Greyhounds. Picked up 43 points in his last year. He then have 3 years at Prince Edward Island in the U Sports. What a spot. PEI. Prince Edward Island. Everyone I know from there is an absolute fucking beauty as well. Beauty or a rocket ship. Like, I don't know what they feed those people out in there, but yeah. So 3 years playing out there, 7 points in 16 games in U Sports last year. I'm impressed with this signing by Tommy.
It looks like a very good signing.
Yeah, great signing. Hopefully he pans out for them. We debated last week, where would we see Archie Salisbury? Would he go where Mr. Banners on the wall himself said, MK and MK? That was our kind of feel as well. And yeah, he did. He joined the MK Lightning and MK Thunder setup. Opportunities to play about 70 games now. Do you know what I mean? Like, it opens him up to all sorts of things. And if we can speculate it was ice time at Peterborough, we don't actually know. We don't know if something went on behind the scenes. We don't know. But if ice time was the issue, it's not going to be an issue anymore.
Nope.
He's got plenty of opportunity to train, play. Travel might be an issue now, lad. You're gonna be spending a lot more time in the car, but if it progresses his career on, then that's absolutely awesome. What else we got? There's really quiet on the news front this week, guys. We were spoiled last week. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
we're totally spoiled. But this week we're struggling for news, so sorry it's not as jam-packed as before, but a couple more bits and pieces. First of all, we got Tate Shudra. He is now a full-time Steel Dog after leaving the Blackburn Hawks. And if we're to believe the way Sheffield are going to do things, I wouldn't be surprised to see a few more guys in the coming months kind of jump over to the Dogs with the hope of making it to be a Steeler. That pathway is well and
have that opportunity now, huh?
Pathway is well and truly there now. So, will we see another Shudra in a Steelers shirt? I would say at some point in the future, I would imagine so. Like, he'll get his opportunity there. He's just left Blackburn after they got their shiny new changing room. I'm sure Graham and Dom and all the boys will be happy. But I like to see like the clubs at that level actually going out and getting a really respectable dressing room for the boys. It look tidy as you like. Do you not think it's cool? Like when you go in, you got your own space and it's really well done, and it's quality for the boys.
It's just the little touches, isn't it? It just makes the whole experience better as a player for you.
Also gives you less excuses.
Yeah, that's true.
If the team take care of all that sort of shit, and all you got to do is worry about turning up and putting your kit on, your kit's dry because the room's good and it's proper stools so your kit can air out, and it makes a huge difference. You go to practice, your kit's dry, you feel good. There's nothing worse. old shitty room like the Isle of Wight. Our room was fucking terrible. You go in, your kit will still be wet, and it's like gross. The only other thing we've got outside of Elite League news is the para hockey, and the Steel Kings took on the Cardiff Huskies. They beat them 3-1. They are the playoff champions. So shout out to those, though everyone involved. Apparently, it was a great weekend from looking at it and reading the reviews and stuff. We might have a little something going on with those guys next year for one of the charity games. So keep your eyes peeled on that. And when we spoke before about the sledge hockey on, who did we talk to about sledge hockey? Fuck knows. It was before the charity game, so one of those episodes there. I can't remember who we spoke to, but they reached out, so we plan to be doing some stuff with them, which would be cool. Give them guys and girls a bit of a platform, which would be awesome. But yeah, anything else on that, or should we head over to the Elite League?
There's not a lot to say, so let's move on.
Right, Elite League, folks. Josh Burnside has left the Coventry Blaze after 8 games. I don't think the Blaze are going to miss him, if I'm honest. He didn't
they've not had the best of starts, have they?
No, they've not had the best of starts. He didn't have a hot start. And yeah, it kind of is what it is. The Elite League, it is very much a business. And if you're not winning games and you're not getting points,
it's to make changes.
Changes have to be made.
That's reality.
It is. And, these guys come over and they get ready, but if they're not ready to go, and I know Burnside's a D, when I say points, I mean like points, 2 points for the team, not goals. If it's a forward, he has to be performing better. He only played 4 games in the cup and 4 games in the league. So, if they get an opportunity to sign a better player, do it now. Get it in.
Time, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't wait. Oh, let's see, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. You might have left another 8, 10, 12 points on the table by then. And if you've done that, you're going to wish you'd have done it 6 weeks earlier. Who else we had leave? Jeremy Welsh. He's left the Panthers after, well, I don't know. I don't even know if he played a game this year, He was with the Panthers last year, I think. But no, it doesn't matter. We'll move on from that. It's just because it's on the elite prospects. I think that was just his last club, and now he's signed for the team that Oki was with in Romania. But yeah, there has been some other movers and shakers. Guildford Flames. They've released Anthony. Oh, here we go. You ready for me to butcher this? Prezzelli, yeah. Petruzzelli, better than I would have done. Yeah, so he only had 4 games in the league. He also had 4 games in the cup, only picking up 1 point in the cup, 1 point in the league. 2 points in 8 games for a struggling team. I mean, they've got to make changes. The way the Guildford Flames have started this year, they will not be happy. Digger will not be happy. Kirk will not be happy. The owners will not be happy. They're going to want to make changes, and I think he might be the first of a couple out the door at Guildford unless results start changing rapidly.
I think we said in the pre-season that he looked like a great player on paper, and it just didn't translate with the Flames. So
sometimes it just doesn't work for whatever reason it may be. You could have 70 points last year, come over and just not be able to get anything going. And, these things do happen. Right, before we go to the Giants' crazy way of qualifying, let's just give the Elite League a quick shout out. 39,000 fans plus through the door on week 4. That's great to see. It's great to see that the fans are turning out. Very good numbers. Let's keep building that. If we can push some 50,000 weeks and stuff, that is going to be really, really good for the league.
It is, and it also links to another thing that we're speaking of, and that's the league still has no TV deal or title sponsor.
What do we make of that?
Fans, it's crazy to think of the highest league in the UK doesn't have a title sponsor, and it's had TV coverage before. There's a lot of eyes, as we've just seen, that statistic. It keeps growing year on year. You got Sheffield pulling in 9,000 every week. I mean, how can you not have a title sponsor when there's clearly a good enough fan base to warrant having decent sponsorship and
Yeah.
exposure?
And I mean, you must pay a tractor pretty penny for it as well. It's great exposure for for a company across the entirety of the UK. You've got Belfast, you've got Cardiff, you've got the 3 teams up in Scotland, you've then got all the teams in England. Like, so it's literally country UK wide. You could get hella wicked sponsorship for that, but TV deals have to be in place, and their logos have to. It's fine saying you're going to get the streams and stuff, but again, no one's stumbling across that. You're not stumbling across a 15 quid stream.
Yeah, how I see it is like I always compare it to the ice hockey league over here in Central Europe. If they can have TV sponsorships, Sky coverage, how can the Elite League not? They're very similar in standard. I don't know how we held back all the time so much with British hockey.
There should be conversations happening, that's for sure. I wonder if Ice Hockey UK have any plans to kind of get involved with that side of it, or they just let the Elite League carry on and do their thing. But it'd be good across the entirety of the UK to have it televised, as we all well know. Yeah, one more thing in the Elite League, and then we're going to go to wrap up last weekend's results. Just wanted to shout out Mr. Nathan Ripley. 3 goals. Little hat trick for himself in the Elite League. Lovely to see a Brit get a hat trick. Fucking rights body. Nothing more to really add to that other than, yeah, love to see it. Okay, give these kids an opportunity. Might just surprise you. They might just surprise you. What else we got? We got the NIHL results. So, Steel Dogs kicked off the weekend, 3-2 victory over the Telford Tigers. Huey, as I said, Sam Cooper gets a goal and Mr. Jonathan Phillips. And then GB, Pricey, he gets a goal as well. And then Lucas had a good start to the season. Tight game between Telford and Steel Dogs, as you would expect, Mark.
Yeah, and that's a great result for the Dogs. Tigers are just going to get tougher and tougher as the season goes on.
Yeah, they always do. They're playing well already and picking up points. The MK Lightning bounced back from last week's humiliation against Leeds. They come in 6th spot on the pit bulls. Lawrence, then Venus gets a pair. Herman and Rutgers get a pair. So goals again from the top guys that you'd be expecting to get goals.
Yeah, and you just look at it and you just think, oh, he didn't score this weekend. They've got such a stacked. They've got such a stacked roster.
Absolutely stacked. Speaking of being stacked, Leeds are stacked, but they did lose at home to the Wildcats 4-2. Aaron Nell with a beauty of a penalty shot in that as well. Kieran Brown, he's on the score sheet. Matt Howlett, he's on the score sheet. And then for the Cats, we had Cowley, Tower, and Jonesy, as well as Ned's penalty shot. Great result for Swindon on the road. With all the shit they've got going on. With all the shit they got going on, to go up to Leeds and pick up 2 points, it's huge. I mean, for them to not even take them to overtime and drop that 1 point or whatever. Yeah, that's great for them. Solway Sharks, mate, they're off the bottom. They had a 4-point weekend. They kicked that off with a 5-2 victory over the Raiders. Goals shared about with the boys: Kerr, Young, Gardner, Dunbar, and Stenton. And then in reply, Sylvester and Leah for the Raiders. Mate, happy for Solway. Very happy for Solway. Very happy for them. It was coming. They were never getting blown out in the games they were playing in. They were in tight affairs. They just weren't getting it done. Well, last weekend they went and got it done. Teams that are getting it done is the whole Seahawks. They picked up a 4-3 victory over the Peterborough Phantoms. Svek got 2. Our boy Finn got a goal, Finn Ulrich, and then Youngie, he got a goal as well. 3 in reply were Sisters, Nordstrom, and Sladowski. So a goal on debut for Nordstrom. Interesting addition. Obviously, a big lump of a boy. If he's going to come good, that could be a hell of a signing for them.
I think it will be.
Should we go to the Sunday?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Sharks went down to Bees. They put 4-1 up. Bees bring it back to take it to OT. Sharks get the extra with a Peacock overtime goal. Balaz, you talked about how good he's been playing this year. Another 2 goals for him, goal for, for Rosie and for Moggy. And then Hare with 2, Gardner again, Dunbar again, and Peacock. So we did talk for the Solway Sharks to win. We said last week they're going to have to get a couple of additional goals from elsewhere. And those big boys need to keep scoring. And that's what happened this weekend.
Yeah, now let's see where they go on from here. That's going to be a huge confidence boost, a 4-point weekend.
Absolutely. It always feels good to get 4 points. The return leg with the Pitbulls and the MK Lightning. MK managed 6 again, but the Pitbulls did get on the score sheet twice, but still not enough for the MK Lightning. Ralph's got 1 and Lipsy got 1, and then Lawrence had a pair, Herman had 2, Rutgers and Venus. I mean, this team is deep, this MK team. Forward-wise, they're absolutely stacked. It's ridiculous. But as we sit right now, there is 3 teams sat on 14 points: the Hull Seahawks, the Leeds Knights, and the MK Lightning. Tight at the top.
I like to see it as well. It makes it way more interesting than having someone just at the top there, just flying.
Yeah, I hope it stays like that all year. It make it super interesting. It just makes every game that little bit more special. Right, we've got the Elite League next, and this is going to be a bit all over the place because they're in that start of the stage of the season where they've got Challenge Cup games and mixed in against league games, and it's all over the place. But we'll try and start the league first. Panthers, they beat the Dundee Stars 2-1 in overtime. Young Jordan Kelsall getting in a bit of a tilt on that one, so that was interesting. Then we had the controversy of the weekend: Fife Flyers versus Belfast Giants. Fife score a goal, goes to video review, doesn't go. To me, the puck's fucking in the net, well in the net, and the Belfast fans are like, "Oh, stop crying!" They're the bouncers. Well, let's see that if that happens to you in March. If you're saying the same thing, then I can guarantee you won't be. You'll be fucking going mental. X will be blowing up.
Perspective, isn't it? For Fife, that would have been a huge result.
Yeah. They still end up getting the point. They're losing the shootout at home, but they get a point off Belfast. So, I mean, anytime you take a point off Belfast, a good point.
Yeah, Fife are continuing to show that they're improving from last season.
Yeah, I listened to some I think the boys from Review on the Bridge had they had him on the podcast. We need to get him on. He seems like good shit. That their head coach, he seems very good, and he doesn't care what he says. So obviously we like that here.
Down for that.
Yeah. So that was the Saturday results. On the Sunday, Steelers, they beat the Dundee Stars 3-0. And how does this game sound? Glasgow Clan, Nottingham Panthers, 7-6 to the Panthers in a shootout. And if I'm not wrong, it was like 2-2, 3-3, 4-4, 5-5, 6-6. Like, it was you get one, we get one. Like, it was legit just a score fest. Fans must have been entertained.
Yeah, they got their money's worth, that's for sure.
Yeah, you got everyone's money's worth on that one all weekend. But yeah, Clan, Panthers, interesting. Both seem improved from last year, I would say.
Yep.
I would say they both look better. Steelers, they look strong, sitting at the top of the Elite League right now. They're going to be hard pressed all year, I think. They're going to be right up there. Couple more. We'll Challenge Cup and then we'll wrap it up, and we'll be hoping to have a busier, more crazier episode next week. Some of you guys do some crazy shit at the weekend. Something to talk about.
Yeah, give us something to talk about.
Give us something to talk about. Challenge Cup Friday night. Belfast Giants, they win 7-4 against the Fife Flyers. Good result for them. I think that's them already through to the quarter-final stages. Cardiff Devils, they put a 5 spot on Coventry Blaze, beating 5-0. Shout out for the Devils on home ice. And then Saturday in the Challenge Cup, we had Guildford Flames going down 6-3 at home to Cardiff. We had Manchester Storm going down 6-3 to the Sheffield Steelers. Steelers also qualified for the quarterfinals, and then Coventry Blaze, they turn around their misfortune from the Friday night with a big 6-1 victory over Guildford. Scary time if you're a Guildford Flames fan.
At the moment, yeah. Let's hope that the changes they're making are going to make things click, because they have some very good players. They lost a very good player, but I didn't think we'd expect them to be struggling as much as they are.
No, I definitely didn't. I think that's about it for today, folks. Road tripping episode 4, I think it's 4, from Aberdeen will be out on Friday. This will be rolling out on the Thursday. So you've got a couple more bits of content coming this week. And then next week, we're back at it with the interviews. If you haven't already, check out Shane Moore's interview. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts on the new backdrop. Do you like it? Is it a lot less fucking bad on the eyes? I don't know a real way of describing that. I think Mark's looks better as well. So hopefully this is a bit of a better look for you and a bit more friendly on the eyes on YouTube and stuff like that. But Mark, it's been fun. I wish we had more to talk about, but I got to go and do some boxing.
Same here.
One more thing. Do not forget, we will be putting our notice out for a new title sponsor as well as other sponsors. So stay tuned. Social media will be going live with that on social media probably Friday or Saturday this week. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Stay subscribed. We'll see you again soon. Peace.
Peace.